I will say this, though, a donut burger, that is a wonderful treat. Woo! That is actually not overrated.
You probably know Trent Horn from the Counsel of Trent podcast and the many books he's written and debates he's done as part of Catholic Answers. I first became a fan of Trent when I saw him on Life Report more than a decade ago, and was immediately drawn to his ability to apply logic and reason to difficult questions. And while I generally consider Trent to be my apologetic superhero, sometimes in life, even our heroes let us down. This was the case in a recent episode of Trent's podcast when he decided to share his opinion on foods that are overrated. I don't have any major objections with the first few items on Trent's list, so I'll move through those pretty quickly. But in just a few minutes, you'll see where things take a turn for the worse. The first food Trent goes after is
Turkish Delight. Turkish Delight. They're disgusting. They're just like this gelatinous little square. It reminds you of like a little bit more of a powdery gummy bear congealed together with like white powdered sugar on top of it.
Some people might think fondly of this dessert because of its reference in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, but I've never had it, so I'll give Trent this one. Next he goes after
tall, huge burgers. I cannot stand when restaurants will try to make a fancy burger, and what they do is they just stack it really, really high.
I agree with Trent that you should be able to hold a burger in two hands and take a bite through all of the contents. So that's fine. On to the next one.
All right, next one. Lobster and shrimp. Lobster and shrimp are gross. And I can tell you how I know they're gross. Because you won't eat them without butter or seasoning or garlic sauce.
When I was younger, I used to really enjoy big, cold, jumbo cocktail shrimp. I'd eat them plain without any butter or sauce of any kind. And they were a treat for me just like that. But I don't eat these anymore, so I'll save my real outrage for farther down the list. All right, Trent, what's next?
So here's the next one. Corn on the cob. Corn on the cob is overrated. Once again, you're not going to eat it without butter and salt. You're not going to do it, are you?
Yep, I'll do it. That's the only way we ever eat it in our house. Plain corn on the cob, no salt or butter, and we like it that way. But it's definitely not my favorite food, and I can agree with Trent on at least one thing about corn.
And then, of course, there are the other aspects of the corn. Your body can't fully digest it. That's all I'm going to say on that one.
Have a bigger chunks of corn in my...
All right, Trent, anything else?
Cupcakes, Skittles, sushi.
I didn't know anybody rated those things highly to begin with, so that's fine. Is that all?
Quinoa. What's up with quinoa? It's like weird, dusty rice. I don't get it. It feels like I'm not even eating anything. What kind of superfood is this supposed to be?
Okay, so this is where Trent starts to go off the rails. Quinoa isn't overrated. If anything, it's underrated. Quinoa is a complete protein with more fiber, vitamins, minerals, and protein per cup than rice. You can use it in soups or smoothies, or chill it and mix it with apples, raisins, almonds, and celery for a refreshing quinoa salad. Quinoa really is a superfood, and it makes a great staple in a healthy diet. Anything else, Trent?
Kale will be a runner-up in this area.
Kale is another superfood, and it's at the top of Dr. Joel Fuhrman's aggregate nutrient density index. The main ingredient in my daily green smoothies is either kale, spinach, chard, or collard greens. Kale is awesome. I think I might be starting to notice a fundamental difference in how Trent and I approach health. We'll let Trent continue.
We try hard enough to be healthy. Just don't eat the worst. Just don't eat the things that are most bad for you. Then you don't have to resort to eating these things that aren't really food, like kale and quinoa.
So let me get this straight. A donut burger is a wonderful treat, but kale and quinoa aren't real foods? This is like saying Taylor Swift is a vocal masterpiece, but Gregorian chant isn't really music. Trent's usual logic and reason are starting to fly out the window on this one. Would he apply that same principle to other important areas in life? Just don't do the things that are most bad for you and you'll be okay? I don't know about you, but I don't want to just barely be okay. I want to have great health and be active well into my later years in life. St. Irenaeus said that the glory of God is a human being fully alive. If we want to be fully alive, thriving and firing on all cylinders, we want to be taking care of the gift of our physical health in a more comprehensive way than just not eating the things that are most bad for us. All right, let's give Trent a chance to redeem himself. Anything else, Mr. Horn?
Now the last one that's overrated. It might not even be overrated. It's just people understand it's bad and they put up with it. And that's kombucha. Kombucha? Kombucha is gross.
Do enlighten us, Trent, on why kombucha is so gross.
I remember once when I went in and first learned what kombucha was from people who were making it. There was this big cylinder, glass, thing with kombucha in it. And there would look like a jellyfish inside of it. Like this jellyfish thing inside, and they're drinking this. And I said in all horror, "What is that?" And the woman hosting this said, "Oh, that's the mother." I was like, what?
What? What's the big deal? People eat hot dogs, scrapple, and donut burgers, but fermented tea is what really grosses you out? Come on.
The SCOBY is a slimy, rubbery, pancake-shaped blob that's usually beige or brown in color. It's a community of microorganisms that convert the sugar in tea into lactic acid. It's a fermentation process with the kombucha.
Yep, that pretty well describes my SCOBY. I've been brewing my own kombucha for over a decade now, and drinking it almost every day. Sometimes when I'm peeling off layers of my SCOBY, I'll even eat a few bites. It has a nice chewy consistency and is good for my gut health.
It's gross. Nobody likes it. They just drink it because they think they have to be healthy. And you don't have to do that. On one website, it said that kombucha tastes like battery acid full of snot.
I actually genuinely enjoy drinking the kombucha that I brew. I'll have some while I relax in the evening or sitting around a fire with my family. For me, it's a tasty, healthy treat that's also good for my digestion. And sometimes, especially in the warmer months, small SCOBYs will start to grow in my individual bottles before I drink them. So that's a fun bonus when I get to eat a little SCOBY along with my drink. Kombucha is definitely not overrated.
Maybe it's not overrated. I think that people, it's similar to kale or maybe these other like healthy things. Don't say it's good. Just say, yeah, I do it and maybe I'll live an extra 2 years. Those 2 years aren't worth it to me.
The problem with Trent's reasoning is that he's talking about longevity as if the person who only avoids eating the foods that are most bad will live a vibrant, healthy life until a certain age, and a maximally healthy person will live the same quality of life, but just for 2 years longer. This isn't how it works. Sadly, in many cases, people spend the last years or decades of their life struggling with obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and other chronic health conditions that limit their ability to enjoy many activities. So kale, quinoa, and kombucha don't just get you the same type of life plus 2 years. They will help you to stay healthier and more active during all your later years of life.
If you think I'm wrong, why don't you send to Catholic Answers a kombucha mother? Maybe I'll change my mind.
Trent, just give me your address. I have a nice, slimy, rubbery, pancake-shaped blob with your name on it. If you want to learn more about my approach to nutrition, check out my video that I'll link to in the show notes. And if you think I'm wrong about kale, quinoa, and kombucha, let me know in the comments below. Also, if you found this video helpful, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might benefit from it as well. And don't forget to follow the Barricade Guard on Facebook, X, and Instagram. The links are in the show notes below. And until next time, fortify your soul, body, and family.